Have you ever wondered if you're truly fulfilling your partner in ways that go beyond the physical? Unlocking the deepest essence of female pleasure isn't about just one technique or secret spot. It's about understanding her emotions, her desires, and what makes her feel deeply connected to you. In this video, we'll explore practical insights and thoughtful adjustments you can make to enhance her experience and bring you closer in ways you never imagined. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, I encourage you to click the subscribe button and ring the notification bell to stay updated on all our latest content. Your support means a lot, so if you find value in this video, please give it a thumbs up to help spread our message. I'm eager to hear your thoughts on today's topic. If you enjoy the content, please comment 1 below. If it doesn't resonate with you, leave a 0. Your feedback is crucial as it helps me create better videos that align with your interests. Now, let's get started. Unlocking the deepest essence of female pleasure is not something that happens overnight. It's a delicate, ever-evolving journey, an art that requires emotional intelligence, patience, and a genuine desire to connect with your partner on a level that transcends the physical. It's not merely about mastering certain techniques or following a formula. No, it's far more profound than that. It's about truly understanding your partner, knowing what makes her feel special, cherished, and understood on every level, physically, emotionally, and mentally. In fact, it's these deeper, emotional layers that often hold the key to her ultimate satisfaction. Today, I want to dive into something most men, especially those with a wealth of life experience, come to realize. Satisfying a woman is not just about the physical act itself. It's about fostering an environment where she feels safe, loved, and seen. This is something that requires not only skill but a heartfelt desire to please her in ways that go beyond the surface. We'll talk about practical tips, yes, but more importantly, we'll explore how small, thoughtful changes, especially during oral sex, can heighten her pleasure and bring you closer together in ways that you might not have imagined. For so many men, there is an ongoing struggle, a frustrating inner dialogue, that whispers they aren't enough. This feeling of inadequacy can take root in a man's mind, leading him to doubt himself, question his abilities, and even feel like he's failing his partner. It's a heartbreaking place to be, especially when the desire to please is so strong. Intimacy, both physical and emotional, is the foundation of any healthy relationship, and when one partner feels unfulfilled, a silent chasm can start to grow. It creates an emotional distance that can be devastating. But let me tell you, there is hope. It doesn't have to stay this way. Relationships are not set in stone. They are living, breathing things that can be nurtured, healed, and brought back to life with just a few mindful adjustments. By taking the time to truly understand your partner's unique needs and desires, you can open up a new world of intimacy and connection. Imagine the difference it makes when you know her well enough to touch her heart, not just her body. You become more than just a lover. You become her safe space, the person she turns to for both pleasure and emotional security. There's something incredibly empowering and beautiful about this. When you begin to see intimacy as more than just physical gratification, you'll start to notice how every little action, every soft touch, every meaningful word, can deepen the connection between you and your partner. It's about making her feel treasured, like she's the most important person in your world. That's when real magic happens. Before we continue, let me encourage you to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. We are here to guide you through the complex, yet rewarding journey of maintaining intimacy, especially for those over 50. Our advice is centered on helping you keep love, passion, and mutual respect alive in your relationship. No matter your age, we want to empower you to create a connection that not only lasts but thrives. Now, let's take a closer look at something that has caused confusion for years: the elusive G-spot. It's often portrayed as the ultimate key to a woman's pleasure, the holy grail of sexual satisfaction. But the reality is far more nuanced. Not all women experience pleasure from G-spot stimulation, and for some, it's not even a significant factor in their sexual satisfaction. What makes things even more complex is that the G-spot's location can vary greatly from one woman to another, and for some, it doesn't offer much pleasure at all. This is where open communication and exploration come into play. Every woman is different, and what works wonders for one may not work at all for another. But here's where it gets truly interesting. While the G-spot tends to steal the spotlight, other parts of the body, often overlooked, are just as, if not more, important in creating pleasure. Take the neck, for instance. Did you know that nearly 97% of women find the neck to be one of the most erotic zones on their body? A gentle kiss or a soft caress in this area can send a wave of pleasure that ignites her senses in ways that direct stimulation alone can't. It's these seemingly small acts of attention that can turn an intimate moment into something unforgettable. Even more surprising is the fact that around 1% of women can actually reach orgasm from nipple stimulation alone. This might seem shocking, but it just goes to show how many hidden treasures the female body holds. The lesson here is that intimacy isn't about rushing to the finish line. It's about slowing down, being present, and savoring each moment as you explore the unique landscape of her body. Patience and sensitivity are your best tools in this journey. The key takeaway: pleasure is not a one-size-fits-all experience. It's about learning to read your partner's signals, being responsive to her needs, and making her feel truly seen and appreciated. When you're able to do that, when you approach intimacy with a sense of mindfulness and care, the rewards are immense. You'll not only be fulfilling her desires, but you'll also be strengthening the bond between you. She'll feel valued in ways that go beyond the physical, and you'll become the partner who knows exactly how to make her feel loved, cherished, and deeply satisfied. This kind of connection is rare and precious, and it's something worth striving for in every relationship. By taking the time to truly understand what makes your partner feel happy, secure, and appreciated, you're not just enhancing your intimate life, you're building a foundation for a relationship that thrives on love, trust, and mutual respect. And isn't that what we all truly want? To feel connected to the person we love, not just on a physical level but on an emotional and spiritual one as well. Take a moment and imagine this. You're with the person you care about most in this world, someone you've built a connection with that goes beyond anything physical. Now, consider how deep that connection could go if you could understand not just her desires but also the very essence of her emotional needs. The truth is, unlocking the full spectrum of female pleasure is a journey of discovery. One that doesn't merely rely on skill or technique, but a genuine understanding of who she is at her core. It's about taking the time to explore what makes her feel safe, valued, and deeply cherished, creating an experience that speaks to her soul as much as her body. This is something that experienced, mature men know all too well. It's not just about physical pleasure, but about fulfilling her emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Many men approach intimacy thinking they need to hit all the right spots, follow all the right steps, and check all the boxes. They may feel pressured, even stressed, to meet certain expectations. And for those who feel they've fallen short, it can be heartbreaking. The frustration and self-doubt that creeps in when they think they haven't satisfied their partner can be overwhelming, causing a divide in the relationship that feels nearly impossible to bridge. But the beautiful truth is that it doesn't have to be this way. In fact, it's not just about hitting the right spots. It's about paying attention to the subtle cues, listening to her body, her emotions, and understanding what brings her true satisfaction. When it comes to intimacy, the physical act is just the tip of the iceberg. Real pleasure comes when both partners feel connected in a way that's beyond the physical realm. It's not just about pleasure for pleasure's sake. It's about creating a safe space where she feels deeply appreciated and where trust flourishes. That's the difference between a fleeting moment of pleasure and a lasting, intimate connection that deepens with time. One of the most intriguing aspects of intimacy, particularly when it comes to oral sex, is the sheer variety of responses it can evoke from women. No two women are exactly alike in how they experience pleasure. Did you know that the length of a female orgasm can range anywhere from just 3 seconds to an astonishing 51 seconds? It's incredible to think about how diverse and unique every woman's experience is. Some women even experience ejaculation during orgasm, a topic that is often misunderstood. Female ejaculation and squirting are not the same thing, and neither is necessarily tied to orgasm. It's a reminder that every woman's body and her responses are unique, and understanding this requires patience, curiosity, and openness. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. To truly satisfy your partner, you must tap into more than just the physical aspects. This is where emotional intelligence plays a crucial role. It's about recognizing that what makes her feel deeply satisfied goes beyond just knowing how to touch her physically. It's about touching her heart and her mind. True intimacy is achieved when you make her feel heard, respected, and valued as a whole person. It's about creating a space where she can be her most vulnerable self, knowing that she is loved and desired not just for her body but for everything she is. Think about the power of communication in all of this. So often, we underestimate the importance of talking openly about what we enjoy, what feels good, and what doesn't. Yet, it is in these honest, sometimes vulnerable conversations that you can truly learn how to satisfy your partner. Intimacy should never be a guessing game. It's not about hoping you're doing the right thing. It's about knowing, because you've taken the time to ask, to listen, and to learn. Now, let's talk about one of the most overemphasized yet often misunderstood topics, the G-spot. This mysterious area of the female anatomy has been hailed as the ultimate source of pleasure, but in reality, not all women experience the G-spot in the same way. Some women find incredible pleasure from it, while others don't find it to be a major factor at all. It's crucial to understand that the G-spot is not the holy grail of female pleasure. For some women, it plays a role, but for others, it's irrelevant. This is why open exploration and communication are key. Every woman's body is unique, and what brings one woman pleasure may not work for another. What often gets overlooked, however, are the other sensitive areas of a woman's body that can evoke just as much, if not more, pleasure. Did you know that 97% of women find the neck to be an incredibly erotic zone? Just a simple kiss or a soft caress along the neck can ignite sensations that run deeper than what direct stimulation alone can provide. And here's something even more fascinating. Around 1% of women can actually achieve orgasm through nipple stimulation alone. Yes, the human body is full of hidden treasures, waiting to be explored and appreciated, and each woman's pleasure map is her own unique journey. This brings us to a crucial point. True intimacy is about exploration. It's about being present, patient, and completely attuned to your partner's needs. The goal isn't just to bring her to orgasm, though that can certainly be part of it. The real goal is to create an environment where she feels completely seen and valued, where pleasure is a shared experience, not a goal to be achieved. It's about making her feel that she's the most cherished person in your life, and that every touch, every kiss, and every intimate moment is filled with love and care. Imagine being the kind of partner who doesn't just know how to touch her physically, but also knows how to touch her heart and her soul. This is something that mature, emotionally intelligent men understand. They recognize that the key to truly satisfying a woman lies not just in the physical act, but in the emotional connection that accompanies it. When you prioritize building this deeper connection, the physical pleasure naturally follows. It becomes a reflection of the bond you share, a bond that grows stronger with every moment of intimacy. So, if you're truly ready to take your relationship to new heights you may have never thought possible, continue to explore, continue to communicate, and most importantly, continue to make her feel like the most important person in your world. When she feels valued on every level, emotionally, mentally, and physically, that's when true intimacy flourishes. That's when you'll discover the secret to a deeply fulfilling and lasting intimate relationship. And trust me, once you've experienced that level of connection, you'll never want to go back. When it comes to oral sex, many people ask the same question. How can I make it an unforgettable, truly intimate experience? The truth is, there's no one-size-fits-all approach because every woman's body, preferences, and responses are uniquely her own. What works wonders for one might not resonate with another. However, there are certain strategies that can enhance the experience, allowing it to be a powerful, emotional connection between partners. The key lies not in rushing to a goal, but in being fully present, paying attention to her reactions, and taking your time to build anticipation and intimacy. Far too often, people overlook the fact that the journey itself, the slow, deliberate build-up, can be just as pleasurable, if not more so, than the final destination. Let's start by understanding just how sensitive and powerful the clitoris is. With approximately 8,000 nerve endings, it's one of the most sensitive areas on a woman's body, far surpassing the sensitivity of the penis. This makes it crucial to approach it with care, tenderness, and a gentle touch. Start slow. Light, soft kisses or gentle licks can awaken sensations that gradually build, and as her body begins to respond, you can increase the pressure and intensity in a way that feels natural to her. I believe there's an undeniable beauty in this slow build-up, a sort of unspoken dance that unfolds between two people who are deeply connected. It's not just about the physical pleasure you're giving her, but the emotional bond that is growing stronger with every touch. In fact, the emotional aspect of oral sex is often what makes it such a deeply satisfying experience for both partners. It's not just a physical act, it's an opportunity to express love, desire, and care in a way that words alone cannot. When you focus on being present and attuned to her body's cues, you create a safe and loving environment where she can fully relax, let go, and immerse herself in the pleasure. This kind of attentiveness is where real intimacy begins. It's in the way you listen to her body, the way you adjust your movements based on her reactions, and the way you make her feel like she is the center of your world in that moment. However, technique is still important. The movements you make with your tongue can have a profound effect on her pleasure. Whether you're softly licking, sucking gently, or tracing slow, deliberate circles, each action can send waves of sensation through her body. But, and this is crucial, what one woman loves might not work for another. That's why communication is so vital. You don't need to guess what feels good. You can ask her. Simple questions like, "Does this feel good?" or "Do you like it when I do this?" can make all the difference. These conversations help create a space of openness and trust, allowing both of you to explore what feels best without hesitation. In my opinion, the willingness to ask and listen is one of the most loving things you can do for your partner. It shows that you care deeply about her experience, not just your own. And then there's the fact that only 18% of women can reach orgasm through penetration alone. This statistic highlights just how important oral sex and other forms of external stimulation can be in helping women reach climax. During an orgasm, a woman's brain becomes fully engaged in the moment, making her feel intensely connected, both to herself and to her partner. But it's also worth noting that many women struggle with achieving orgasm regularly. Around 30% say they have difficulty reaching climax, and a surprising 10% have never experienced one at all. These numbers underscore the importance of exploring different avenues to pleasure, rather than relying solely on penetration. One of the things I find most disheartening is the pressure that society often puts on women and men when it comes to sexual pleasure, particularly orgasms. There's this pervasive idea that if a woman doesn't climax during sex, something is wrong. But the truth is, pleasure is not linear, and it's not always about reaching that final point. It's about the whole experience, the closeness, the touch, the emotional connection, and the feeling of being desired and cared for. This is why oral sex, when done with attentiveness and love, can be so transformative. It allows for a deeper level of connection, one that goes beyond the physical and taps into the emotional and even spiritual realms. To make the experience truly unforgettable, it's important to create an atmosphere of trust and comfort. Make her feel safe, make her feel seen, and make her feel like the most cherished person in the room. This goes beyond technique and moves into the realm of emotional intimacy. When a woman feels emotionally safe, she can let go of any inhibitions, fully embracing the pleasure you are offering her. It's in this space of vulnerability and trust that true intimacy is born. Another critical aspect that often gets overlooked is that every woman's body is different, and what works for one may not work for another. This means that learning to please her is a continuous process of exploration, communication, and adaptation. Sometimes, what worked once might not feel the same the next time, and that's okay. It's all part of the journey. The goal should always be to remain open, patient, and attentive, knowing that every moment is an opportunity to discover something new about her, about yourself, and about the connection you share. For me, the most powerful part of any intimate experience is not just about physical pleasure. It's about the emotional and psychological bond that forms when two people are completely present with one another. When you're focused not on performance or outcome but on being there for her, truly being there, you're creating a space where real pleasure can thrive. And that pleasure is not just hers, it's shared. There's a deep satisfaction that comes from knowing you've not only touched her body but her heart and soul as well. So, how do you make oral sex an unforgettable experience? You take your time. You focus on her, not just as a body but as a whole person with her own desires, feelings, and emotions. You communicate openly, adjusting based on her needs. You make her feel loved and cherished in every moment. And when you do this, you create an experience that goes beyond physical pleasure. It becomes an expression of love, trust, and connection. That's the true essence of unforgettable intimacy. Deep penetration is often celebrated as the ultimate way to bring a woman pleasure, but the reality is far more complex and individualized. While some women may enjoy the intensity of deeper penetration, many others find that shallower, more mindful penetration provides even greater pleasure. This is especially true when it comes to stimulating the G-spot, which is often more effectively reached with shallower movements. This revelation speaks volumes about how different each woman's body is and how crucial it is to tune into her specific preferences. There's no universal key to pleasure. It's about discovering what feels best for her and adjusting your approach to meet her unique desires. Real sexual connection happens when a partner listens and responds to her body, creating a harmonious and shared experience that goes far beyond physical mechanics. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that faster or harder movements are what will make the moment more intense, but for many women, that simply isn't the case. The subtlety and sensitivity of shallower movements, especially when combined with deep attention to her reactions, often bring far more satisfaction. This isn't just about technique. It's about understanding that the journey of pleasure is an exploration that unfolds over time. A slow, measured approach where you focus on what she responds to, rather than rushing toward a climax, often results in a much deeper connection. Personally, I believe that the most powerful moments of intimacy aren't about sheer intensity, but about the way two people learn to attune themselves to each other's desires and needs, moment by moment. One of the beautiful aspects of long-term relationships is the depth of trust and understanding that grows over time, and this has a profound impact on sexual satisfaction. In committed relationships, women often report experiencing more fulfilling orgasms and a greater sense of connection during sex compared to casual encounters. I think much of this comes down to the emotional safety and trust that long-term partnerships cultivate. When a woman feels truly comfortable with her partner, when she knows that she can express her desires, her vulnerabilities, and her needs without fear of judgment, she is far more likely to relax and enjoy herself fully. There's a deeper layer of communication and openness in long-term relationships that casual flings simply can't match. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. When you're in a committed relationship, there's an ongoing dialogue about each other's bodies, preferences, and fantasies. Over time, you build a shared language of intimacy that evolves with the relationship. You come to know each other's signals, what touch, what pressure, what movement brings the most pleasure, and that's a knowledge you can only gain through time, patience, and experience together. This knowledge builds a level of confidence and closeness that allows both partners to explore more freely, with the understanding that their needs will be respected and met with care. This kind of trust isn't just about sexual satisfaction, it's about emotional closeness and a deep sense of mutual respect. And that's what makes the pleasure so much more profound. Touch is another key element of intimacy that often gets overlooked in discussions about sexual pleasure. Touch isn't only about sex, it's about those quiet moments of connection that happen outside of the bedroom. Have you ever wrapped your arm around your partner's waist while she's drifting off to sleep, or gently caressed her back as a way to say, "I'm here with you"? These small gestures may seem insignificant, but they have the power to deepen your emotional bond and create a sense of closeness that lingers long after the moment passes. Touch, when given with intention and love, has a language all its own. It communicates care, desire, and reassurance in a way that words sometimes can't. In my experience, it's these small, everyday acts of touch that lay the foundation for a strong, lasting connection. When you take the time to touch your partner in a way that makes her feel cherished, you're building a sense of security and warmth that naturally extends into your intimate moments. It's as though the emotional closeness you foster outside the bedroom naturally flows into your sexual experiences, making them richer and more satisfying. These little moments are the quiet undercurrents that make intimacy in long-term relationships so much more fulfilling. Exploring fantasies together can be another way to deepen your bond and bring a sense of excitement and adventure into the relationship. Fantasies don't always have to be about pushing boundaries or trying something extreme. They can simply be about sharing your desires and finding new ways to connect with your partner. The act of sharing a fantasy, even if you never act on it, creates a space of trust and vulnerability. It's a way of saying, I trust you enough to share this part of myself with you, and that's a powerful form of intimacy in itself. When you and your partner feel comfortable enough to explore each other's fantasies, it brings a new dimension to your relationship, one that's built on curiosity, excitement, and a shared sense of adventure. What's especially exciting about exploring fantasies is that it's not just about the physical aspects. It's about the emotional connection that comes from discovering something new together. Whether it's something as simple as trying a new position or role-playing, or something more elaborate, the key is that you're doing it together. You're creating shared memories and experiences that bring you closer as a couple, strengthening your bond on multiple levels. This kind of exploration can also reignite passion in a long-term relationship, bringing back the sense of playfulness and spontaneity that may have been lost over time. It's also worth noting that communication is at the heart of all great intimacy. Without open, honest conversations about what you both want and need, it's easy for misunderstandings or assumptions to take root. Many couples struggle because they don't feel comfortable talking about sex, their desires, or their boundaries. But the more you communicate, the stronger your relationship becomes. When you can openly talk about what brings you pleasure, what you're curious about, or even what you'd like to try differently, you're laying the groundwork for a relationship that is based on mutual respect, trust, and genuine connection. For me, the most fulfilling intimate experiences aren't just about technique or physical sensation. They're about the emotional bond that forms when two people are fully present with one another. It's in the way you make her feel safe, the way you listen to her needs, and the way you create a space where she can fully express herself. It's in the slow, gentle touches, the moments of quiet connection, and the willingness to explore together. When you approach intimacy with this kind of emotional depth, the physical pleasure becomes so much more meaningful because it's rooted in something real, something lasting. At the end of the day, intimacy is about more than just what happens in the bedroom. It's about building a relationship where both partners feel loved, understood, and deeply valued. Whether you're exploring new fantasies, sharing tender moments of touch, or simply enjoying each other's company, intimacy is something that grows and evolves over time. It's dynamic, not static, and it requires attention, care, and a willingness to continue learning about each other. And when you approach it with that mindset, the rewards are endless. You'll find that your connection deepens in ways you never thought possible, making every moment together more intimate, more satisfying, and more meaningful. One of the most significant challenges to building deep, genuine intimacy in relationships is the overwhelming pressure created by the unrealistic body ideals promoted by media and societal standards. Everywhere we look, we're bombarded with images of perfection that tell us how we should look, act, and even feel. This constant comparison can deeply affect a woman's self-esteem, making her feel less than she truly is. It's heartbreaking to think about how many moments of joy and connection are stolen because of insecurities stemming from these unattainable standards. I believe it is absolutely essential for partners to create a nurturing, safe space where they can be their true selves without fear of judgment. A place where love, acceptance, and appreciation for each other's authentic selves take priority over any superficial ideals. Intimacy blossoms when there's mutual respect, trust, and understanding, not when someone feels they must meet an impossible standard. True pleasure can only flourish when both partners feel valued for who they are, not what they look like. Moreover, when it comes to intimacy, it's important to acknowledge that a woman's body is full of areas that hold potential for pleasure and connection. Focusing solely on one part limits the depth of the experience. For example, while much attention is often given to the clitoris, other areas, such as her breasts, deserve just as much care and tenderness. Gentle caresses and thoughtful touch can make a huge difference in increasing her overall arousal and allowing her to feel fully in the moment. These moments of tenderness and attention to detail go far beyond mere physicality. They represent a deeper connection, a desire to understand and appreciate her in a holistic way. On a more personal note, I've learned that something as simple as grooming, such as keeping facial hair well trimmed, can make a world of difference. A prickly beard, no matter how ruggedly attractive it may seem, can cause discomfort and disrupt the flow of intimacy. A little effort in grooming shows not only care for oneself but also consideration for your partner's comfort, which is vital to ensuring that every touch is as pleasurable as it can be. Intimacy, however, is about much more than just physical attraction or the way you touch each other. It's about the emotional presence you bring to those moments. Being fully attuned to your partner's needs, showing patience, and offering a sense of emotional security create the foundation for a truly fulfilling connection. In my opinion, a satisfying intimate relationship is built on understanding, open communication, and a willingness to explore each other's emotional and physical needs without rushing or assuming. It's these small, thoughtful acts, holding space for one another, communicating openly, and offering support, that can turn a sexual experience into something deeply emotional and transformative. When both partners are truly present, connected, and in tune with each other's desires, intimacy becomes an experience that transcends the physical and leaves a lasting emotional impact. The bed, in this sense, becomes more than just a place where you sleep. It transforms into a sacred space where emotional, psychological, and physical connections merge. It's where you not only share your bodies, but your hearts and minds as well. And it's not just about technique or appearance. It's about the overall energy you bring to your intimate life. For instance, physical fitness can play a key role in keeping that connection alive. Not because you need to achieve some ideal body type, but because caring for your body can enhance both your confidence and vitality. Physical fitness is far more than just looking good. It's a reflection of self-discipline, strength, and a commitment to self-care. From my perspective, these traits, discipline, vitality, and self-assurance, are incredibly attractive and naturally draw people toward you. It's not about being perfect, it's about being the best version of yourself, and that effort shines through in your interactions with your partner. Moreover, staying active and taking care of your body doesn't just benefit you physically, it boosts your emotional well-being, too. It improves your confidence, reduces stress, and increases your energy levels, all of which directly contribute to a more vibrant and satisfying intimate life. When you feel good about yourself, that confidence radiates in every touch, every gesture, and every look you share with your partner. In this way, the act of caring for yourself becomes an act of love and devotion that you bring into your relationship. I truly believe that the energy and commitment you invest in yourself will reflect back in your connection with your partner, creating a space of mutual attraction, emotional safety, and physical fulfillment. Ultimately, what makes intimacy truly meaningful is the emotional bond you nurture with your partner. It's the little things that build trust, the way you listen, the patience you offer, and the way you show up for each other consistently. These emotional investments are what turn physical closeness into a profound connection that strengthens the relationship in every way. It's in this emotional depth that real passion and intimacy thrive, far beyond any superficial measures of attractiveness. When two people come together with authenticity, care, and mutual respect, their bond grows deeper, creating an intimate experience that is not only pleasurable but also deeply enriching for both hearts and souls. It's truly eye-opening when we consider how many people silently struggle with dissatisfaction in their sex lives. Studies show that nearly 2/3 of individuals feel unfulfilled in their intimate relationships. This number is staggering, and it reflects a deeper issue. Most of these feelings stem from a lack of communication, unmet emotional needs, and a misunderstanding of what truly brings pleasure and satisfaction to a partner. Sexual dissatisfaction doesn't arise from a lack of physical intimacy alone. It's often the result of emotional disconnects and unspoken desires. Without honest conversations about needs, boundaries, and fantasies, couples may find themselves drifting apart, unable to reach the deep levels of connection that they crave. Take, for example, the 69 position, a well-known sexual act where both partners simultaneously engage in oral sex. On the surface, it might seem like an adventurous and exciting way to bond physically, but it requires a high degree of attentiveness from both parties. Both individuals must be equally focused on giving and receiving pleasure, which can be a beautiful way to create mutual satisfaction. It's not just about the physical aspect. It's about showing your partner that their pleasure is as important as your own. This position, when done with care and consideration, has the potential to deepen the emotional bond between partners. But without communication or mutual awareness, it can feel rushed or imbalanced, leaving one or both partners feeling unsatisfied. Another popular sexual position is doggy style, where the woman is positioned on all fours, allowing for deeper penetration from behind. While many men are drawn to this position for its intensity and the visual stimulation it provides, it's important to recognize that every woman may have different feelings about it. For some, this position offers a sense of freedom and physical connection, while for others, it might not be as enjoyable without the right emotional context. This is where communication becomes key. Understanding what your partner feels in these moments is crucial to creating a fulfilling experience. Without that understanding, even the most intense physical act can feel empty or disconnected. But here's something that's often overlooked. Intimacy goes beyond technique. It's not about mastering a certain position or following a set of rules to achieve pleasure. Each woman is unique, with her own desires, preferences, and fantasies. What ignites passion and pleasure for one woman may not have the same effect on another. In fact, some of the most intimate and fulfilling experiences can come from the simplest gestures: a soft kiss on the neck, a tender touch on the skin, or a quiet conversation about dreams and fantasies. These moments of vulnerability can open up new doors to emotional closeness, allowing the relationship to grow in ways that go far beyond the physical act of sex. Understanding and respecting a woman's individuality in intimate moments is the cornerstone of a truly meaningful sexual relationship. It's about creating a space where both partners feel free to express their desires without judgment or shame. Great intimacy is rooted in trust and emotional connection, not just physical attraction. This means being attuned to your partner's needs, asking what makes them feel good, and being willing to adapt and learn together. In my experience, these deeper layers of connection are what lead to the most satisfying and long-lasting relationships. When both partners are emotionally present and committed to understanding each other's unique needs, intimacy becomes an enriching experience that strengthens the bond between them. Another essential aspect of intimacy that's often underestimated is the role of oral sex. It's an act that, when done thoughtfully and with care, can bring immense pleasure and deepen the emotional connection between partners. Oral sex is not just about physical stimulation. It's an expression of attentiveness, patience, and devotion. For many, this act can be the key to unlocking deeper sexual satisfaction, as it requires partners to focus entirely on each other's pleasure. When performed with thoughtfulness and an understanding of what your partner enjoys, oral sex can become a powerful tool for enhancing intimacy and connection. Beyond physical touch, there are other, more subtle ways to enhance attraction and deepen intimacy. One of these is the power of scent. Scent plays a surprisingly significant role in attraction, often in ways that we aren't consciously aware of. Testosterone, the primary male hormone, has a natural scent that many women find appealing on a deep, instinctual level. Some men, recognizing this, choose to wear colognes that mimic or enhance this natural scent. The right fragrance can add an extra layer of allure, subtly enhancing a man's presence without being overpowering. It's a small detail, but one that can make a big difference in how a partner responds to you. In fact, scent is often linked to memory and emotion, meaning that the right fragrance can create lasting impressions that go far beyond the moment. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment number 3 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. In my opinion, these small, thoughtful gestures, whether it's taking the time to learn what kind of touch your partner enjoys, grooming yourself to ensure comfort during intimate moments, or choosing a subtle scent that enhances attraction, are what make intimacy truly meaningful. These acts show that you care not just about your own pleasure but about your partner's comfort, desires, and emotional well-being. The foundation of a fulfilling sexual relationship isn't built on perfect technique or achieving a certain level of physical attractiveness. It's built on emotional presence, communication, and mutual respect. When both partners are willing to be vulnerable, to open up about their needs, and to take the time to truly understand each other, intimacy becomes something far more profound than just a physical act. It becomes a way to connect on a deeper level, to share in each other's emotional and physical experiences, and to build a bond that strengthens the relationship as a whole. Ultimately, the key to lasting satisfaction in any intimate relationship is understanding that intimacy is an ongoing journey, not a destination. It's about continuously learning, growing, and evolving with your partner. It's about being willing to explore new aspects of each other's desires, both emotional and physical. And most importantly, it's about showing up, fully present, fully engaged, and fully committed to making each moment together as meaningful as possible. When you approach intimacy with this level of care and intention, you create the space for a relationship that is not only satisfying in the moment but deeply fulfilling in the long term. It's intriguing to realize that couples who share too many similarities in personality and interests might actually face greater difficulties in sustaining a vibrant, long-lasting relationship. At first glance, it may seem ideal to find someone who shares all your passions, opinions, and hobbies, someone who mirrors your thoughts and lifestyle. However, the reality is that when two people are too similar, the relationship can quickly become predictable, even stagnant. What often keeps a relationship exciting, fresh, and dynamic are the differences that exist between partners. These differences, whether in personality, perspective, or interests, inject variety into the relationship and create opportunities for growth, learning, and shared discovery. In fact, the spice of life, and of relationships, often comes from those moments when two individuals, from different viewpoints, learn to find common ground. Diverse personalities bring with them a healthy balance. While sharing core values is important, having distinct interests and approaches can keep things interesting. If one partner enjoys adventure while the other prefers quiet reflection, this contrast can open the door to new experiences. The adventurer can encourage the reflective partner to step out of their comfort zone, while the reflective partner may help the adventurer slow down and appreciate the deeper, quieter moments. Together, these differences prevent the relationship from falling into a monotonous rhythm and instead foster an environment where each person brings something new and exciting to the table. This dynamic tension, the push and pull between differing ideas and lifestyles, keeps the relationship alive, fresh, and constantly evolving. Moreover, in any long-term relationship, sexual desires and emotional needs naturally change and evolve over time, especially for women. It's a fact that is often overlooked, but women's sexual desires are anything but static. For example, menopause is often misunderstood and is sometimes seen as a phase where intimacy and sexual desire diminish. In reality, for many women, menopause marks a period of renewed sexual interest. As hormone levels shift, some women experience an increase in libido and a desire to explore new dimensions of intimacy. Rather than seeing menopause as a time of loss, it can be embraced as an opportunity for deeper and more meaningful connections. This phase of life can become a transformative period where both partners explore not just physical closeness but emotional depth as well, leading to a richer, more intimate bond. Menopause also brings emotional and physical changes that can impact the way partners connect. During this time, open communication is absolutely essential. As bodies and needs shift, so too should the way couples approach intimacy. What worked in the early years of a relationship may no longer be the same, and that's perfectly normal. It's through dialogue, honest, open conversations, that couples can adapt to these changes and continue meeting each other's needs. A relationship that evolves with time, where both partners feel heard and understood, is far more likely to thrive than one that clings to outdated ideas of what intimacy should be. As partners age, their emotional needs often become just as, if not more, important than physical desires. Ensuring that both individuals feel fulfilled, respected, and valued in all aspects of the relationship requires a willingness to discuss, adapt, and grow together. Understanding intimacy, though, goes far beyond the mechanics of sex or even physical closeness. True intimacy is about forging a deep connection on multiple levels: emotional, mental, and spiritual. It's about feeling safe enough to express not only your desires but also your fears, insecurities, and vulnerabilities. This kind of openness doesn't come naturally to everyone, and it certainly doesn't happen overnight. It requires a conscious effort to be in tune with your own body, your own needs, and your partner's desires. One of the most important steps in building a strong, intimate relationship is educating yourself, learning what makes your body feel good and understanding what brings pleasure to your partner. When both partners are aware of each other's desires and boundaries, the pressure to perform or meet unrealistic expectations fades away. Instead, the focus shifts to mutual exploration, where both individuals feel safe, respected, and free to express their authentic selves. For example, when partners take the time to learn each other's emotional and physical cues, intimacy becomes less about achieving a specific outcome and more about the journey of connection. A simple act like discussing desires or fears openly can dissolve layers of tension, leading to more satisfying, fulfilling experiences. In fact, the more comfortable you become with talking about intimacy, the more confident you will feel expressing what you want, and the more attentive you will be to what your partner needs. Intimacy then transforms from a mere physical act into a shared experience of trust, connection, and emotional depth. At the heart of it all, intimacy is about connection, about being truly present with one another in both body and mind. It's about creating a safe and nurturing space where both partners feel seen, heard, and valued. A relationship built on this foundation of emotional closeness is far more likely to withstand the challenges of time. It's easy to fall into routines where intimacy becomes transactional or mechanical, but the key to long-term satisfaction is maintaining a sense of curiosity and openness toward each other. Even in the smallest moments, a gentle kiss on the cheek, a long conversation about personal dreams, or an unexpected touch, there lies the potential to deepen your connection. A lasting and fulfilling intimate relationship is one where both partners remain committed to learning, growing, and adapting together. Over time, life circumstances will change, bodies will change, desires will evolve, and emotional needs will shift. The beauty of a strong relationship is that it can weather these changes and come out stronger on the other side. But this requires effort, patience, and above all, communication. It's important to check in with your partner regularly, not just about the logistics of everyday life, but about how they are feeling emotionally and physically. Are they still satisfied? Are their needs being met? Are they still experiencing joy and connection in the relationship? When couples make it a habit to talk about their needs and desires openly, intimacy remains a source of joy, connection, and fulfillment. Whether through physical touch, shared experiences, or heartfelt conversations, the goal should always be to deepen the emotional and physical connection. In my opinion, the secret to lasting intimacy lies not in perfecting certain techniques, but in being willing to explore new facets of your relationship as you both grow and change. It's about creating a space where both partners feel safe, valued, and loved for who they truly are. As time goes on, a relationship that is built on this kind of intimate connection, where differences are celebrated, communication flows freely, and both partners feel truly seen, will continue to thrive, even as life presents its inevitable challenges. This kind of relationship not only stands the test of time but also becomes a source of profound joy and satisfaction, enriching both partners' lives in ways they may never have anticipated. Have you ever found yourself wondering if you're truly meeting your partner's deepest emotional and physical needs in your intimate moments? So many men believe that satisfaction lies in technique or in discovering some hidden secret, but the truth runs much deeper than that. Unlocking the profound essence of female pleasure is not about simply finding the right spot. It's about understanding her on an intimate, emotional, and even spiritual level. It's about knowing what makes her feel safe, cherished, and profoundly connected to you. True intimacy goes beyond the physical. It's a dance of vulnerability, trust, and emotional depth that strengthens the bond between you and your partner. In this video, we're going to dive into those hidden layers of intimacy that so many overlook. We'll explore how creating an environment where she feels completely seen, valued, and understood can elevate her experience in ways that surpass physical touch. The way you hold her, the soft words you whisper, the moments of tenderness, all of these can make her feel more adored and treasured than ever before. We'll talk about how simple but meaningful changes can not only heighten her pleasure, but also deepen the emotional connection you share. By the end of this video, you'll have powerful, often overlooked strategies to create an intimate connection that resonates far beyond the bedroom. I'll guide you through ways to touch her heart, not just her body, and show you how that emotional fulfillment can bring you both closer than you ever thought possible. This is about more than just a fleeting moment of pleasure. This is about building a love that is strong, passionate, and unbreakable. Stay with us until the very end because the insights you're about to uncover could transform not only your physical intimacy but the very foundation of your relationship. If you want to experience a love that thrives on trust, emotional vulnerability, and mutual understanding, you won't want to miss what comes next. Trust me, the rewards of this deeper connection are beyond anything you've imagined, and it all starts with making her feel like the most important person in your world.